Hey, it is a Monday at 2 p.m. Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern on my calendar are when we do a Facebook Live. And you can see behind me what we do on the Facebook Live, right? We answer strategic questions to help you grow your company. It's part of the free content we give because we just love you. And we love to help you answer questions. So we have a whole list of questions that we go through. Charles has a good one. Let me just read this question real quick. He says, when transitioning to new pricing models, what percentage of clients and team members make the transition with you? That's an interesting question, and there's a lot of components to it, as usual. But before we answer that, I want to just remind you guys, you can send questions in, info@thriveal.com. You can post questions if you have them to the chat here of this video, and we'll pick those up. Also, if you want to come live and learn just a really deep part of the strategy of running a firm, you don't want to miss our conference. We do it every year, and this is our 9th annual. It's called Deeper Weekend. And just go to dw.thriveal.com. DW, that stands for Deeper Weekend, dw.thriveal.com. And there's a registration button for the 2019, and you can get $150 off if you key in the word Fathom. Thank you, Fathom. They're one of our sponsors. If you key in the word Fathom, it's going to take $150 off that. And that's the last week in October is when we do these Deeper Weekend live events in Greenville, South Carolina. We want to see you there. Okay, let's see if we can help Charles answer his question. So Charles says, when transitioning to new pricing models, which is a pretty disruptive thing to do in a firm, what percentage of clients and team members won't make the transition with you? And this came from me teaching a little bit about these disruptive models, like if you go from hourly billing to value pricing, if you do that fully in your firm, then a lot of times there will be clients that won't want to do that. And he's asking what percentage will transition with you and what won't. And that's hard to say. It's going to be different for every single client, so it totally depends. Now, what does it depend on? It depends on how have you already trained your clients to let you lead? How do they already adopt the things that you give to them to adopt? Or do you have clients that typically don't trust you, or you have this large group of clients that don't really know your firm really well? They just come once a year for a tax return, and they're not really deeply involved in a relationship with you where you're giving them advice. Those trusted relationships are the ones where that client will tend to follow you wherever you go. And so if you've done a lot of work on a relationship like that, then a lot of your clients are going to transition with you. But it really just depends on the type of firm you have now, and it depends on how you've trained them already. If they're not trained, and you know your client base typically won't do what you want them to do, especially with a disruptive change like pricing, then just be prepared that a large percentage of your clients, they're not going to move to a new pricing model, right? Because when you make just overarching changes for a client base, they have to fully know it's all about benefiting them. When you make a change like that, you don't lead that with your client base and go, guess what we're doing? This is so good for the firm. That will tick off your client base typically. So I would say when you're asking what percentage will transition with you to a new pricing model, it really totally depends on what they're already like. If they already trust you, they may transition, but there are going to be some that will drop out. So I would say a change like this, like a pricing model change, if you go from hourly billing to value pricing, it is pretty important that you know who do you think will not go with you, because this is going to be a cash flow hit to your firm, and you do not want any surprises on cash flow hits. And so you want to make sure you know how that's going to happen. Now, another component to this is how gradually are you going to do it? So a lot of times you'll gradually do things like this over time. You don't just hit the whole client base in one shot and say, you got to change by next Monday, right? A lot of times this will take a couple of years, depending on the size of your firm, depending on the size of your team, it'll take a couple of years to change some kind of disruptive model like pricing. So just keep that in mind. The first year you want to transition business clients. The second year you may want to transition individual clients, which are going to typically be a little bit harder to transition to a new pricing model because they're less involved in your firm. They have less of a relationship with you. So there's typically less trust involved with individual tax returns. So that's why in our firm we only serve businesses, because we only want what serving businesses brings, which is that deeper trust to really lead clients in amazing ways. So I hope that helps you, make decisions about the transitions you make in your firm. One thing it did, the question Charles asked was, what percentage of team members will come with you? Well, team members are required to come with you. So keep that in mind. Clients are not. Team members are required to move through disruptive changes in your firm with you. That is a part of employment. So just keep that in mind too. So remember, shoot us a question, info@thriveal.com, and we're going to help you answer those strategic questions that make running firms hard. We're here to help you do that. And of course, if you're interested in Thriveal, you can go to thriveal.com, hit the members tab, and you can apply to be a member if you are an entrepreneurial, creative firm owner and you want support and help. That's what we do in Thriveal. We support and help entrepreneurs run their businesses better. They happen to be accounting firm businesses, but that's what we're experts at. So we want to help you do that too. So come join us if you think we're right for you. And thanks for joining us for the Ask Jason question series. We'll see you next Monday, sharp 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you. Bye-bye.